as we get ready for our feature race. 20-lap teams against Phil Harlem. With the fastest rider paired with the slowest rider, the second fastest rider paired with the second slowest rider, so on and so on.
Yes, this is going to be very, very interesting. And also the strategy, Braxy, do you run your fastest rider first or do you run your fastest rider second?
Well, that's what we were just talking about off air. If you happen to put your slower rider out there and you get lapped, well, that could be advantageous to the faster rider jumping on afterwards, because then you'll get a few more laps to unlap himself, if that makes sense.
What we can tell you is that Alessandro Fogli is out there. He's doing the whole race Ironman style. He will have to come into the pits and change the armband to himself, though, I presume. So as he comes round, has a quick look over his shoulder. They will take up their positions on the grid after their warm-up and sighting laps. So we can also see that Chris Angelopoulos is out there for the Levi Russo Chris Angelopoulos team. Just having a look, and I think you'll find that bike number 7 is also out there taking up the position. That's Mitch Welch. He's taking up position on 3, so we know that Levi Russo and Joe Russo will be the second riders.
Just trying to see about Cam Dunker and...
I think it's Macrianis is actually starting from pole position, so that will be Cam Dunker running second as well as they're off. They're off Braxy and down into turn 1, and it's Chris that's got the lead through the first time.
Jumped into the Saab's lead there off the start. Great start from him. And then it is behind it. Oh, I thought he was going to be overtaken by his opposition. And it's just a matter of recognising who's who in the zoo.
Actually, I think that is Jai Rosso that's there in second place at the moment. So it wasn't Welsh that was sitting there second on the grid. Jai looking for a way past, but Chris Angelopoulos is looking very determined to hold on to this lead for as long as he can. An extremely tight entry into the hairpin. There was no way Jai could get up the inside. He's done it now, though, up to the run through the fastest corner. So it's Russo that's in the lead.
Well, to move into second position. That was another determined move through there, Phil.
That's the only way that Alessandro Fogli knows how. So it's Russo, Fogli. Oh, Nick up the inside of his brother with a forceful move there. So that's Nick Angelopoulos, who's in this race teamed up with Brayshaw. He moves up into third position. Looks like we've had one rider already have a bit of an off-track excursion there. Looks like he's recovered, though. That is Andreas Macrianis. So it is Russo that leads from Fogli. This has been a stunning lap from Fogli as the field makes their way through. Now look at that battle back there for 4th, 5th and 6th position, Braxy. There's nothing between those guys.
Fogli had a big moment as well coming on the exit of the first turn.
I think that was Aaron Buell having a big move there as well.
44.3 and Fogli at 44.8, so not too shabby against the youngster, that's for sure. And is he closing the gap onto... he has a bit of a moment coming out of that fast left-hander. Is he closing the gap on Rosso? Or is that just my imagination at this time of the morning?
Well, it is the tight technical section where Fogli's aggressive riding style could pay dividends. I think this is going to be a fast lap from Alessandro.
I reckon it is. He's closed within about half a second of him. What are they down to now?
Well, it was
a 44.2 and a 44.4.
It was actually 0.2 of a second far slower than Russo on that lap. But look at the aggression from Fogli. He's got to do 20 laps too, remember, Braxy. So that level of fitness that he has is going to be tested towards the end of this race. But at the moment, I'm completely engrossed by this battle between Chris Angelopoulos, Aaron Buell, and also Tien Hao Zhao, who's also putting in a great ride on board bike number 5.
As Andres Macianis there goes through, he's the whoopsie's going to get lapped very shortly by the look of it, as Russo now a 44.2 compared to a 44.1, then a 44.3. So the lap times are coming down as they start to get more aggressive in their riding styles. But under brakes going up the inside. Who was that? Was that Maxi Stove for an Aaron Buell? up the inside of Levi. Oh, as soon as I say that, the position's changed again.
Yeah, I think that's Buell. He is really aggressive there with Chris. Look how close they are, Braxy, through the infield section. Nose to tail, across the hump. Very tricky because you've got to get the front wheel back down before you change direction to the left. Then keep the front wheel down as you go across this right-hander that has a crest right in the middle of it. You mentioned before, though, about Macrianus possibly getting lapped very soon, and that's going to happen probably in the next 2 or 3 corners. What that will mean is that Cameron Dunker will get another lap on board that team machine over the course of the 20-lap race. It could be advantageous for that team.
It should be, but we'll find that out in about 15 minutes' time. Fogley just pushes him wide. Macrianus knew the method of being shoved off the track there. He didn't get quite shoved off, but Fogley certainly made enough room for himself.
He got a short back and sides, that's for sure.
So onto their 6th lap. So they've got 3.5 or just over 3 laps to go now as Russo goes past the Vantage Point to complete lap number 6.
The gap was 1.4 seconds at the completion of the last lap. It is now out to 2 seconds.
And I'll tell you what, Macrianus is coming under attack from Aaron Buell as well in 3rd position.
Oh, actually, he's just let Nick through. So Nick holding down 3rd now. Still, well, let's have a look at the gap from Alessandro Fogley in 2nd. Actually, it's got Nick and Alessandro Fogley together, but Nick and Alessandro are both out on track at the same time on the timing monitor. So that team isn't correct, and it's not what our entry list says here in the commentary box. So we'll go with the entry list.
A 44 flat for Jai Russo then. And so where's the timing monitor's had a conniption because it's lost Alessandro Fogley off the timing monitor, unfortunately, Phil.
So what we do know is that it's our race leader, Jai Russo, that still holds down a pretty handy lead over Alessandro Fogley on board bike number 25.
Here he comes through the fast. Oh, a bit of a dip there he hit on the way through. Fogley's certainly giving it his all. He goes through the final turn, track and everything. Bit of dust.
He was over the white line and almost joined us in the commentary box here, Braxy, as they start this lap now, which is the 8th or the 9th lap. So we're getting towards the changeover point, and Alessandro has done a fantastic job here to hang on to the back of the, we know, very rapid Jai Russo on board bike number 32. Then it's Nick Angelopoulos doing a good job. One of the, well, which we said yesterday, he's done more than 8,000 laps of this Oakleigh go-kart venue. Certainly knows his way around here.
So now we get down into it. The bikes are being lined up down there as Russo goes through to complete lap number 9. He'll have one more circuit to go. Fogley now just behind him, a 44.492. He's still getting the lap times down there, Phil. But just something with the connection of the timing monitor. He was only 0.2 of a second slower that lap. So Russo's not actually walking away with this event by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think Alessandro's doing a great job to hang on to him, and even Chris hanging on to the, making the gap between himself and Alessandro not too big, so that when we get into the second half of this race, we see some of our faster riders in Cameron Dunker and also Levi Russo come out, and you can see them all lined up there ready, Braxy, at the pit lane exit.
There goes Russo through there. There's the Aussie flag being waved to let them know.
It's the changeover point.
And it's not as if you slow down either when you get that flag. You're just going a little bit faster.
Well, the faster you can get back to the pits and change over your armband to your teammate. And remember, Jai Russo will be changing over to Mitch Welsh on board bike number 7.
See, they're all sitting there, so they've got to get off. Levi's got to get off the bike, run round the witch's hat down there as we see them disappear down into the pit exit. He goes through, he stops. And then he's down there as well. We've got the pit camera down there. He'll get off. He's got to run round Richards had, I do believe, changed the armband over, and you'll see that his teammate, Mitch Welsh, is sitting there ready to go.
He hurdled over the tyre wall, Braxy, and he's made his way over to his teammate now. So that band will be switched over very, very quickly for Russo. And there goes his teammate, Welch, straight away out onto the other track. And he comes round through the penultimate corner, on board bike number 7. There he goes. And he is off with a pretty handy lead over Alessandro Fogli, who had to just stop and get around the things and then jump back on his own bike. Head back out. I'll tell you what, Alessandro's in a pretty good position here.
I know, he's got the sniff of a victory in his sights at the moment as he heads up through this tight infield section through turns 3, 4 and 5.
Here comes Levi Russo and Cam Dunker, it looks like. There goes Dunker and there goes Russo. Now remember, Cam Dunker has to do one more lap than the rest of the field because his teammate was lapped in that first stanza. So it could be advantageous for that team. Oh, Dunker is already on it. Braxy, he was already sliding sideways into turn 2, and he's got Levi Russo right on his tail.
This will go right down to the wire between these two as they try and desperately claw back some positions with their teammate.
But importantly, there they are. They're going through the pit lane hairpin, and there is Alessandro Fogli going through the midfield section. Oh, he's half a lap ahead.
Yeah.
So Cameron Dunker and Levi Russo have got half a lap to...
Both of them on the other side of the white line coming through the penultimate corner.
This is supposed to be a bit of fun, this race.
A 43 flat, fastest lap of the race so far to Cam Dunker. They're sitting in 4th position at the moment. As Phil said, about half a lap behind, where is he, Alessandro Fogli. So it's still got this connection going with the timing screens there, Phil.
Yeah, because I think the last-minute change of the things with would have been with Ollie Watkins pulling out, and the teams have been reorganised. So we can just see who's where on track. Maxi Stouffer's now out there as well on board bike number 27. But the real interest is we can say that it was Welsh on board bike number 7 was our race leader. Fogli is now catching him up. He's about to go past, and he has still about a half lap distance between himself and the pursuing Cameron Dunker and Levi Russo.
And Maxi Stouffer goes through. Certainly got the race face on these guys. You've just got to give them a carrot of being behind someone, and they're riding like madmen.
But the other thing is, though, too, Brax, have a think about it. This race is supposed to be a bit of fun. Both Cameron Dunker and Levi Russo have been pushing to the absolute limit on the first 2 laps of their stint.
That's their version of fun.
This is deadly serious.
Yeah, that's their
deadly serious.
A version of having fun.
Dunker's crashed. Dunker has crashed at the pit lane hairpin. He's now behind Levi Russo on board bike number 1.
Look at the body language of Russo. The elbows are out.
So Dunker looks like he just lost the front end up there at the hairpin, just pushing extremely hard.
Yeah, well, he's pushing more than hard at the moment too, as he's got Russo on his sights. He's about, what would that be, about 3/4 of a second difference at the moment as they go through turn 5, the infield section, back onto the left-hand hairpin, through the 2 double left and the double right that brings them back into the pit complex. Now look at this battle here between Maxi Stouffer and who's that behind them there? Just trying to pick up the gaps at the moment. And Fogli. This is a timekeeper's nightmare at the moment.
It is. It's like a world endurance race trying to keep up with what's going on out there on track.
So where's our leader? Here he comes. No, that's Maxi Stouffer.
There's Alessandro. Pit lane hairpin, Braxy.
Uh-huh.
So pit lane hairpin still holding about a half lap break over Levi Russo and Cameron Dunker. They're the 2 pursuers. Tell you what, Mitch Walsh is doing a great job here. He's hanging on as much as he can to try and continue with those fast lap times.
What did he get down to then? A 46.4. Levi a 43.3. Duncan now a 42.7. So he is right on the pipe of the... Oh! How much room? There's only so much track he can use there, guys. I think they're going to be going over the matting on the outside of the track soon for a bit of traction.
Well, you can see from the black lines that they're leaving, they're actually going right over the white line. Dunker, after that little misdemeanor, is now caught right up onto the back of Russo's machine as they make their way through the infield section. I don't think there's any doubt that these two are the fastest riders out there on track at the moment, but it's the consistency of Alessandro Fogley that's still holding about a half lap lead. They're coming around the pit lane hairpin. Alessandro's just negotiated turn 1.
I'll tell you what, Dunker had a big move there trying to look at Russo, but he lost a little bit of a momentum. Sliding through the 2 fastest corners on the track. Here comes Cameron Dunker under brakes. Is he going to not quite? Didn't even show him the front wheel because Levi was just as pronounced on the late braking as Cameron Dunker was then, as they're on their 18th lap. So there's only a couple of laps to go, and Dunker's not going to be satisfied to sit there behind Levi Russo. That's by any stretch of the imagination.
Remember, Dunker's got to do an extra lap as well too. I don't know if Levi's got to do an extra lap or not.
But hang on, if the Fogley gets the checkered flag, then it's all good, all done and dusted, isn't it?
They've still got to complete the distance. They've still got to complete the 20 laps. I think that's the whole idea of it.
Dunker
there was almost contact.
Almost. How did they didn't touch going through that second last turn?
They were handlebar to handlebar. Dunker's on the inside, but Russo's got the inside run into the next corner. This is extremely exciting racing.
There's Maxi Stover going through there, looking to where Fogley is at the moment. He's coming out of the pit lane pit corner complex. Now, is he going to get the last lap board? I think he is. Yep, there's the last lap board being shown over there. So Fogley goes through in the lead in a pretty dominant position at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Mitch Welsh is doing a great job here to hold down second position over this pursuing pack.
And Dunker's coming. No, he hasn't. Dunker rode that to perfection. I thought he was going to be balked by the lap rider in the final turn, but he just got on the gas, managed to take over Bradbury as well as Russo too, and what a style that was.
That was racecraft personified from Cameron Dunker there to set that move up with that slower rider. How he managed to just position himself perfectly. Absolutely unbelievable. But here comes our race victor, Braxy, around through the final complex of corners now. It is Alessandro Fogley, Iron Man style, that will take the race win.
I'll bet he'll be doing some bench racing with that for a while, saying he beat Cameron Dunker, Maxi Stover and Levi Russo in a race, in an endurance race as well.
There will be certain embellishment of the story of that race. Great job too from Mitch Welsh to hold down second position. He and Jai Russo take the podium in the first ever feature race involving 2 riders for each team, except for the race winner, Alessandro Fogley,
and even
who did the whole race Iron Man style.
Even though in that dramatic finish, Cameron Dunker got in front of Levi Russo, Levi's still in 3rd position, thanks to his consistency with Chris Angelopoulos in that first leg of this race.
Well, remember, Chris led the race early on, did a great job, so great result there for that team as well.
So that was a mighty fine entertainment for a bit of the feature race for 20 laps.
Great way to start the day here at the second round of the 2025 Foot Sports MiniGP Championship. And plenty more racing coming up. Of course, we've got 2 races for both the GP 0, the 160s, and also the GP2 190s over the course of today's racing. But we've also got the open category, where we will see, Braxy, most of those guys out all racing on track at the same time without an interval in the middle of the race.
Exactly. And we're going to have a quick interval here because we're coming back with race number 1 for the Foot Sports FIM MiniGP 160cc class over 20 laps very, very soon.